Hi everyone, I am Sandra Wortham and this is my YouTube channel. For those who are new to the channel, thank you for joining, thank you for watching. Please feel free to take a look at the other videos that have been posted. In summary, at this channel, I talk about public safety. I talk about ways that I believe we as regular people living in communities can harness our voice and our power to make our communities as safe as possible. A lot of that is talking about policy and law and everything else related to violent crime and how we can work against it through the different systems we have in place in our communities. So I look forward to building a discussion with everyone. Please feel free to comment if you have questions or thoughts, because ultimately that's what I hope this will be, is a discussion between like-minded people who want to be alive. So that's it. Today, we are going to talk about law enforcement. This is a continuation of the video series, the players being four of the major institutional entities involved in the public safety ecosystem. So we are talking about prosecutors, law enforcement, judges, and legislators. The prosecutors video is posted, so please feel free to take a look at that. And today is all about law enforcement. So law enforcement. It should go without saying, but law enforcement, police, we have them in all of our communities. Their job is to enforce the law. It's actually in the name. That's their job. I know that right now in our country, there is much discussion about what the police should do, what the police shouldn't do, who should tell the police what they should and shouldn't do. My goal, and we will talk about this a lot, but for the purposes of this video and moving forward, my goal is to have a conversation based in fact. I think we all want to be alive. I think that's a goal we all have. And so I want to have a conversation about the role of police, how we can work to ensure that role is working as best as it can for communities, and our role in that. And I want us to have conversations that are factual and reasonable and productive. And that's my goal here. So, police. We've talked a little bit about the difference between elected and appointed positions. So I've said in every video, I am a Chicagoan. I live in Chicago. So a lot of what I talk about will be focused on Chicago, but surely applicable wherever you live. So in Chicago, of course, we have the Chicago Police Department. The Chicago Police Department is led by what we call a Chicago Police Superintendent. Now, it's important to note, as with the previous videos, a lot of the language might be different in your jurisdiction, but the themes will be the same. So we call it a superintendent. Where you live, it might be called, the person might be called the chief or a sheriff. It's just the top executive in your particular law enforcement agency. So in Chicago, our Chicago Police Superintendent is an appointed position. That position is appointed by the mayor of Chicago. Now, interestingly, the sitting superintendent is the first superintendent in Chicago that's been appointed via a new process where our Civilian Police Oversight Board conducted the interview or conducted the search for our superintendent, narrowed it down to 3 people, sent those 3 names to our mayor, and our mayor selected our sitting superintendent. We can have a whole separate video and discussion on civilian police oversight and how that came to be in Chicago and how it's working. But for the purposes of this video, the important thing to note is that our superintendent is appointed by our mayor. So that's kind of that chain of accountability there. Now, in law enforcement, you'll often have overlapping jurisdiction. So the city of Chicago sits in the county of Cook in the state of Illinois. So in addition to the Chicago Police Department, we also have the Cook County Sheriff's Department. The Cook County Sheriffs are charged with various law enforcement responsibilities as well, but they also manage the Cook County Jail, which is the facility where detainees who are pending trial and detained before trial will be held. It also serves other purposes. So the Cook County Sheriffs are responsible for that. They also patrol the areas of Cook County. So Cook County encompasses Chicago's in Cook County, but also there are various other municipalities, some suburban municipalities in Cook County. So the Cook County Sheriffs have jurisdiction in the entire county. You will, however, see the Chicago Police Department and the Cook County Sheriffs collaborate on certain law enforcement initiatives because there is that overlapping jurisdiction. Similarly, another layer of overlap would be found throughout the state. So Illinois has the Illinois State Police. That agency is, oh, let me go back. The Cook County Sheriffs are led by the Cook County Sheriff. The Cook County Sheriff, unlike the Chicago Police Superintendent, is an elected position. So a law enforcement executive, but also technically a politician because that person runs for the office and is selected by the people. Okay, next layer of oversight or next layer of overlap would be with the Illinois State Police. The Illinois State Police agency is led by the director of that agency. That director is appointed by the governor of Illinois. So just like the overlap between the sheriffs and the Chicago Police Department, the Illinois State Police have their own jurisdictional responsibilities, which obviously go throughout the state of Illinois, but by virtue of doing so, we'll have some overlap with the other two agencies. So the important part about this is to just understand what law enforcement agencies exist in your city, in your town, in your state, and know how the executives who lead those agencies come to be in those positions so that you can express your wishes and desires for what you want to see in terms of law enforcement in your communities to the proper through the proper channels. And that's really the important thing to know. Of course, there's a lot more to talk about with law enforcement, which we will do. Last point on this is because we talk primarily about violent crime at this channel, a lot of our focus will be on local agencies and local entities. Of course, there are also federal law enforcement agencies. We know about the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and there are others. So sometimes we will talk about specific stories that involve federal entities, but a lot of it will be local because a lot of what we need to do will be local. So that's law enforcement. Next video up will be about judges. I look forward to talking with you guys. Bye bye.